Adobe out with a beat on the top and bottom line in its latest earnings report, while also showing a boost to its revenue forecast. Adobe CEO also noting the company's position to lead the new era of generative AI. For more on Adobe's performance, we have Jefferies senior analyst Brent Thill. Hey, Brent, good to see you. As you kind of look through some of the numbers here, the results, and even how they're guiding and what they're saying around that guidance too. We were all kind of hotkeying for generative AI at the end of the day. Let's be real. I mean, do they have what it takes to perhaps woo the market and woo investors on their efforts in generative AI?
Yeah, the jury's still out on AI. I think many on Wall Street think Adobe is going to be hurt on number of users, as if you can reduce the number of creative users building something, how many Adobe seats are you going to need? So that's a long-term discussion. Short-term, they definitely scared the grizzly bears away. We think this is a great print, beat and raise. There's been this ongoing concern the creative business is decaying. The biggest beat inside the business is out of the creative business. And I think the death of Adobe because of AI is just completely over-exaggerated. So we think, Adobe has been showing AI for many years. Investors seem to not been listening to them. And so all the bears in camp are like, AI is going to crush them. And we're not seeing that. I think long-term, the debate is still out there. Obviously, we still have to get the Figma deal closed, which they overspent, $20 billion, but will certainly help their creative process if they get this closed. And then, all eyes, once we get past that, are going to turn to Canva, which is, a threat at the low end of the market. But as we like to say, great stocks have great controversy, and Adobe's had great controversy. We're very bullish, and we think ultimately the good news is when you do the work, you talk to the users, the creatives aren't running away from Adobe. They're embracing Adobe. Yes, they're going to use companies like Midjourney, which are great AI tools to help them in the creative process, but they're not going to not use Adobe at this point. So we still think the story has legs. Now you have the stock up over 45% year to date. That's our only concern given the magnitude of the recent run back. But yeah, the grizzly bears are scared out of camp in the short term here.
So you have a price target of over $500 a share. I lost the exact number there, $530 a share. It's a ways away from that. Do you think today's results or the results released today will get you there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a ways away. I mean, we're not that far. It's breaking 500 in the after hours. So I don't believe that's an issue at all. We've continued to have a bullish stance on Adobe since the stock was $30.
Oh, wow.
So we continue to believe, when you think about, there's been a lot of controversy short term about AI, and that's been the big overhang. The same controversy existed way back when Steve Jobs was alive, bashing Adobe, Flash, saying Flash is dead. Everyone thought Adobe was dead, and that wasn't the case, and the stock was 30. And so this company has incredible resilience, has incredible leadership. There are very few companies that can generate double-digit revenue growth and generate a 45% margin, have the quality of this management team. I've always said that this is a company that has an incredible team, and the users love their product. And most of the users we talk to would pay 10x for their products. I don't follow that many stories that have that type of surrounding in terms of the sentiment around the name. So huge admiration for what they're doing, what they've done. And again, I love the controversy because I think we've been able to prove that AI is not gonna run them off the road.
What are you looking for to hear from the executives today?
I think everyone's worried about the economy, and ultimately, is there an economic boogeyman that's going to jump out of the bushes and scare everyone? And that's been the concern for tech since the beginning of the year. And the economists have been right that things are slowing, but I think Wall Street's been wrong that things are going to fall off a cliff. They haven't fallen off a cliff. In many ways, Adobe's business has gotten stronger now in the second quarter than even the last quarter. So overall tone about the back half of the year, their digital experience business wasn't quite as good. So we're keeping an eye on that in terms of the guide. But overall tone, I think, of overall business and then AI are the two big things we're watching.
Brent, I want to switch gears here. We've been keeping tabs on Microsoft, of course, closing at a new all-time closing high for Microsoft, moved higher by a little more than 3% during today's trading activity. And over the course of this year, holding on to gains of about 45%. One of the mega cap tech companies that first really generated a lot of fanfare for its investment in open AI and kind of kicked off this FOMO trade, if you will, within generative AI as well. Where do you believe the stock goes from here? I mean, is this just a continued trend that we can expect for the near term while the melt up, while the FOMO trade continues to be tossed around?
Stock's going higher. It's going to $400. We have been very bullish on this name for a long time. And they're in front of AI more so than Amazon, more so than Google at this point, and we think that they're leading the charge. Remember, they lost the cloud war. They were number 2. They were number 1. Nadella, the CEO, is like, we're not going to be number 2. We are going to be out there. We're going to be on the field first, and we're going to show everyone where we're at. So they're doing a phenomenal job of controlling the narrative out in front. We had their executives at our software conference just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the execs are falling out of their chair in terms of the ROI, the pricing, the excitement among the customers. Again, this is a phased launch of AI. It's not all going to hit this summer. It'll phase through the end of the year into early 24. But I think when you kind of talk about the quality of the Adobe management team and the quality of the financials and the products and the innovation, Microsoft's in the same class. With AI, they are at the lead of their class. And so right now, Amazon won the first wave of public cloud with AWS at an $85 billion run rate. We think that Microsoft's now going to lead the next generation of this cloud war. And everyone kind of counted them out here, and I think they're on their way back. It's almost what Ricky Fowler did in the U.S. Open today. Everyone thought Ricky Fowler wasn't going to shoot well, and the guy went out and shot him -8. I mean, incredible recovery. And, look, owe it to Nadella. I mean, he's the best leader in tech. We think ultimately he's doing a phenomenal job. And again, I think the story is just getting going for Microsoft and AI. And again, the biggest concern right now, and we've said this, is that everyone is now long these names. It's an expectation game, and the stock has had a big move. So, but I think ultimately we believe there's still a really good runway to $400.
I mean, even Fowler still has Scotty Scheffler not too far behind him. Brent, I knew I could count on you to keep me updated on what I haven't been able to watch, or at least not
Sorry if I gave it away.
That's okay. I couldn't watch a full screen at my desk today. I had to do some work. But Brent, appreciate the time and the update on the sports ball out there as well. Brent, Thill, we got to check back in with you on Microsoft and all things tech. Thanks so much.